Well, I don't know if he's like, I don't know about the loan stuff, but he's like, yeah, it's better to buy it than.
Yeah.
And he's like, fine, we're gonna be poor for a little bit. And he's like, don't worry, we have food. And you just see a big bag of McDonald's stuff. And then Al Xiao just goes into this. I don't know what you call it. It's not tirade, but like this whole thing about supersize me and how bad the McDonald's food is bad in your body.
He's like, oh, they give me meals at work. He's like, you can't eat hamburgers for 3 meals a day. What are you doing? Hello and welcome to another arc of My First Anime. This time we will be talking about The Devil is a Part-Timer. If it's your first time listening to the show, it's the three of us with different levels of expertise in anime, deep diving on a rotating anime of our choosing. I am your mediator, Chris Bailey.
I'm the guy who likes punching things, Salvador, also known as Monkey.
I'm the newbie. I'm Anthony Vaught.
Yes, which, to be clear, Monkey is the one who, or Sal is the one who has seen the most anime and would be our expert, hence the three different levels. So, yeah, like I said, this time we are going to be doing The Devil is a Part-Timer. We are here starting with the first 4 episodes. The Devil is a Part-Timer is written by, or created by Satoshi Wagahara. I didn't find writing credits for these episodes like it did on the other ones, so I would assume it's mostly just like adapting his light novel material, whatever that means.
Would you like to say Japanese of it?
Hataraku Mao-sama.
Which means what?
The Devil is a Part-Timer. I got this one.
No, it doesn't mean that. It's like, it means Walking Demon King or Demon Lord at work.
I think The Devil is a Part-Timer is more catchy.
I agree. Which, it being our first discussion on this series, what everyone's familiarity with it. I'd heard of it. Basically didn't know anything about it. I assumed it was trash.
I saw this on Netflix. I was on an anime binge. I just finished watching Sword Art Online, and Sword Art Online brought me back into anime after like a few years of not watching anything. And this was one of the animes that popped up.
I was on Netflix searching for this, and I typed in The Devil. I had to get to is a part before it popped up into my thing.
Oh, really? I'm pretty sure I just typed in like DE and it showed up.
Yeah, it was like 60% match or something. It's the lowest I've ever seen on my Netflix.
Oh yeah, mine was like 77% or something.
Well, you watch anime though.
I know. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Any more like preface? Anything we want to say, broadly speaking, before we just jump into the series?
Okay, so I do have a question to make. I don't know if we discussed this or not, but I did say The Devil's a Part-Timer is an isekai. And it does follow the isekai format, but it's a little bit different.
It's like a reverse isekai.
Yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
All right, so let's get into the series. We will start with, obviously, episode 1. The Demon Lord arrives in Sasazuka. And again, in the interest of flow, I'm going to go ahead and hammer these voice actors out at the beginning. Did we all do sub?
They don't have a dub.
They do have a dub.
Fuck.
This is a little funny story. I think it's hilarious. When I watched it, they actually had the English dub on Netflix. So I watched it in English and Netflix. And I'm one of those guys that, like, it depends on what came first. Either I watch in English or I watch it in Japanese. It's the way I prefer to watch anime. So this was on dubbed and I watched it dubbed. And I didn't think it was that bad. But the very beginning of this episode, when they were speaking that language, anybody know what that language is?
Might be, shit, I forget what it was called, because we talked about it way back when we talked about Ballad of Fallen Angels. Yoko Kanno used that language in one of the songs. It's like a made-up angelic language.
Oh, okay. But me watching it in English dub, I was like, okay, let me watch this. I popped it on, whatever it is, and it goes to the whole thing about the fucking things. And then people started talking, and I'm like, wait, this is not in English. And I'm not seeing any kind of subtitles for any of this. If you guys want to watch this in English dub, you might want to go into Hulu. Hulu might have the English dub of this anime.
All right. Again, I'm just going to hammer out these voice actors real quick. We have Sato Mao, or Satan, which I found a pretty funny translation note on his thing, where His Sato Mao apparently translates in a way. He could have been called John actually Satan, or like John actually a devil or something. And I guess the official English translation of his name is Jacob Satan.
Nice.
Oh, it's just a funny tidbit. So his name, like Satan, it's supposed that it's a very common name in where he comes from.
He's voiced by Ryota Osaka, who did not have any other roles that I noticed. The dub, he's Josh Grell, who does Armin from Attack on Titan, Tokoyami from My Hero Academia, and Yuri Katsuki from Yuri on Ice. Emi Yusa, or Emilia Justina, voiced by Yoko Hikasa, is Mio from K-On!, Laughter Franklin from Iron Blooded Orphans, and my girl Diana Cavendish from Little Witch Academia. Her English voice actor is, I'm probably going to butcher her name, I think it's Felicia Angel, does Perona from One Piece, and Toru from My Hero Academia. Shiro Ashia, or LCL, is voiced by Yuki Ono, who does Josuke Higashitaka.
Oh,
From
really?
Diamond is Unbreakable, yep. And Anthony Bowling in the English, who I did not notice from anything. And the final for this episode, Chiho Sasaki, is voiced by Nao Toyama, who does Riley Miller in Valkyria Chronicles 4. In English, she's voiced by Tia Ballard, who did not have any roles I recognized. So, yeah, let's get into episode 1. The Demon Lord arrives in Sasazuka. We will talk about the opening later because this episode does not have the opening.
It has something more badass than opening. A fucking battle. Hell yeah.
Well, actually, first it starts with a map and a guy telling us about the world.
And then the Fire Nation attack.
Yeah, basically, there's that kind of thing. Like, oh, we got these 5 continents, and then the Demon Lord wanted all of them.
Just wow, wow. Guitar riff immediately after.
Yeah, the music in this show definitely works for me sometimes. There's one theme I really, really like, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, so we learn about the Entei Islands is what their home world is called. It's the 5 things with the Demon Lord in the middle. Satan basically goes to take over the world. We get featuring Skeletor.
Dude, these little minions are pretty fucking cool. Too fucking bad, though.
Yeah, part of me, like, if I trusted Japan to actually, or if I if I trusted anime to actually handle a dark show well, I'd kind of want this show instead.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
funny.
I thought the design on a lot of the stuff would actually looked really cool.
Oh, it's so dope, dude. I'm just gonna talk about the fucking very beginning fight. It's amazing.
Yeah, go ahead, because I didn't have much to say about the fights. We already touched on the language. And we learned that, one hero rises up to unite the armies and take back all the continents and then push in and fight Satan. But yeah, go ahead, talk about anything you want to say with the fights. We're basically in that part.
So I just love the whole thing about the fights is like you see the humans are fucking losing, and then as soon as Emilia, which we don't know that she's Emilia, but she finally rises up. And you just see the fucking humans are turning back and just destroying all the demons. I'm like, hell yeah, this is so fucking cool. Like, the fucking just monologue of this war going on. And then we finally get to the Demon Lord's castle. Everybody's duking out. The fucking, the Devil's, general, which is,
LCL?
Yeah, SCL is fighting against 2 people. The humans can't fight fair. I mean, come on, you guys. Look at these. Fucking 2 against 1. He has to fight against 2 people. I mean, it's so awful. And then the fucking, what's it called? And then fucking Mao and Emilia are fighting. And it's just an amazing fight because Mao is like using wizard magic, basically, like going around like, I don't know if he's teleporting, but he's flying around shooting magic missiles or little magic bullets and stuff like that. And she's just running around with a fucking sword. It's just fucking amazing. And then, SAO loses the fucking fight. He turns into stone and then drops from the ground and then Mao is facing against Emilia and her 2 friends. It's like a 3 against 1. Like, I'm rooting for the bad guy in this one.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's completely fair.
Yeah, man, if I'm going to take down Satan, I might break a friend or 2.
Facts.
Listen, it was fine as a battle.
So, what's it called? So the Devil and Emilia finally, they decide to do that one strike thing that every fucking anime does. And then the devil loses one of his horns, and then he's like, okay, well, I gotta go, you guys. Like, I'm losing this battle. Let me make a portal and let me get out of here.
Yeah, but he says it more like badass. He doesn't say, "Oh, well, you know what? I think I'm gonna head out now. Pack some undies." And
Which,
he's like,
honestly, I kind of think
"I'll be back."
You didn't like that?
well, no, it was fine, but the way this series is going so far, I kind of wish he had been like, all right, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out.
I'm just gonna say Mao is one of my favorite characters. Like throughout this entire series, he's a fantastic character.
We'll get to why pretty shortly, but I'll have to say so far, LCL's my man.
Oh my, LCL is so good, dude.
But yeah, so we jump into the real world. LCL manages to get out with Satan. Satan turns into an anime boy, and they find themselves on Earth, Japan, presumably in modern times, which would be, the 2010s. The cops come up and be like, hey, what are you guys doing? LCL immediately tries to magic them.
And what's funny is they come in with the demon attire on, so they're like dressed up as demons.
Yeah, there's like they're cosplayers.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're foreigners because they're talking their weird language. It's like, oh, they're just cosplayers. Whatever, it's cool.
Yeah.
You guys want to come to the police station with us? And then LCL tries to magic him again. Does not work. And then hard cut to them sitting in the back of the car.
Man, that was a fucking encounter. That was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
One of the greatest things though is the police cops goes up to Mao and he's like trying to talk to Mao, and Elsio's like, no, you can't talk to my demon lord like that. You think you're high enough to talk to my demon lord? And I'm just like, this guy is so on Mao's dick. It's hilarious.
I think that's exactly why
Owens like
Chris loves him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's funny because I actually like him for every time he's not like that. Whenever he shows times that he's not just
Chris just loves dick riding.
which we're going to get into maybe my favorite bit from all 4 episodes pretty soon. But we get over to the police station and we see Mao getting interrogated by the cop, trying to give him some food, some katsudon. Mao is very confused by it. He's analyzing it. So he mind controls the cop, or hypnotizes the cop to get out of there, basically being like, hey, you're free to go, or whatever.
So, did you guys notice the Japanese cop actually spoke English to them?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I just thought that's a very interesting thing that, like, after a while, the cop realized he doesn't understand Japan, so he started speaking English to see if he would speak English.
Yeah, they get out of the police station. LCL finally successfully uses magic to conjure a taxi.
And did you guys see the poster that was hanging up when they were talking about that? Or was that later on?
Holy Potter?
Yeah, Holy Harry Potter reference.
I did catch that. I actually paused it to see if it was like, because I saw something Potter and I was like, wait a second. Now I paused and I was like, oh, okay. They had to change it for, I'm assuming, trademark issues.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of a montage, I think, of them basically learning how to become human.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun montage. They just got their identities, they got bank accounts open. Oh, and then they secured their house or whatever.
Right, yes.
That's one of my favorite scenes is when they're securing the house, because Mao and Alcia are both over there and they're talking to the guy and Mao is talking and Alcia is like, oh great, sire, you speak in Japanese. He's like, be quiet, Alcia. I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll of speaking Japanese. And it's like the funniest shit ever.
I think that's the one where he's like, language acquisition is nothing for me.
Yeah, Mao was like so happy. He's saying, I'm in the groove of talking.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. And to kind of harp on Chris's point from earlier, I think you are right. And like the best humor comes when they're not forcing it, when they're just literally writing like these two, like just crazy people, they're literally just writing what they would have or what would happen if they walked into a bank or walked into a thing.
Yeah.
And the humor is just naturally there.
Yeah.
You don't have to force it. It's just funny. And they do a very good job, especially in this first episode, of establishing what kind of humor we're going to be looking at and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so they finally go to the house and they're like, this is pretty small for a house. But they're like, oh, it's suitable though.
Yeah, I think the first time that Satan says something, he's like, this will be great for like Devil's Castle or something like that.
Yeah.
Or he mentions like, yes, this will be it's a small for a Devil's Castle.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
I can't remember the exact line, but I was pretty happy that he called this little 1-bedroom studio apartment the Devil's Castle.
And then they realize that they have basically just a studio, a 1-room apartment. It's just really small. And you get to meet the landlady.
The landlady's music friggin' rules, man.
Oh, really?
Her theme is so good. Oh, can she just be there all the time so I can never stop listening to that? It might be different music now than what's in episode 4, but at least her theme in episode 4 is incredible. The music here is still good, and I did like how like over dramatic they made all the music all the time.
Yeah. Oh, so the landlady did say, so you guys were lucky the fact I picked you guys up because they had no records. Like, it's a big thing in Japan to have like records for
Housing records.
Yeah, housing records and stuff like that. Like, it's bad in the United States. In Japan, it's like so much worse. Like, you basically have to send them a fucking resume, and you have to send them like basically like a tip that says, "Thank you for accepting me for your homestead" and stuff like that. Like, it's like a whole thing in Japan. So
You gotta give him a tip.
yeah, it's like a thing.
Weird.
So yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, the landlady is up to something because he's like, yeah, I decided to give you two fun young boys like a room.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that. I thought she was just this weird landlady.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be fair, she's still the weird landlady.
She wants to be called like Me Kitten or something.
Yeah, me kitty.
Then they're hanging out in their studio apartment, and Mao passes out because he hasn't been eating. And that's when they decide we should probably get jobs because money is everything here. We need money, and apparently we need food to live.
I do like that though. They're both in the hospital, and Mao just gets like a huge bill for the hospital in Japan. And he's talking about how the nurse told him is like it's an arm and a leg too on top of like his bill and stuff like that. And he's going through this whole thing. I don't know if you guys know, but in Japan, what's it called? Everybody basically like uses sign up for like an insurance card, and basically that's what like in Japan that's the medical thing, where it is.
Healthcare.
Yeah, that's their healthcare. And so like the way I hold it is everybody has like health insurance cards, and basically the way it works is you pay one third of what you gonna be spending over there, but the hospital pays 2/3 of it. So like all the stuff is cheap because the hospital has to pay 2/3 of your health stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Get to Mao about to head out for work.
Oh no. So they're both filling out resumes, and what's it called? Alcio cannot remember his human name, and so he keeps fucking up. And I was like, resumes don't go on trees, you know.
Yeah.
I don't remember when it comes up, but actually now that you say that, I need to pay more attention to like how much they use idioms. Because these two and Emmy both use the idiom "it takes all kinds" as like a way of like just deflecting random stuff. Or I think Emmy uses it as deflecting, and Mao uses it with Alciel to be like, yeah, that's just a thing they say here to talk about people or whatever. So I wonder how much they use just like those like platitudinous idioms that, you know, they're like, oh, it is what it is, or
okay.
Mondays, right? You know, all that kind of stuff. It's things people say that have no meaning behind them.
I think this is about the time, too, that Mao agrees to work while Shiro takes care of the domestic needs.
Yeah, I wrote Alciela's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think not Shiro, Jesus Christ, dude. I'm trying to remember 14 different names for both characters, and I'm just getting them confused. Mao is about to go out, and he's like, wait, don't forget your umbrella.
Oh, well, they'll talk about food though.
Oh yeah, he's like, dude, you're wasting all our money. You bought a fridge, but all we have is cucumbers.
Yeah, you bought a fridge and a washing machine, and I was like, yeah, I'm not into that loan shit. It's better just to buy it right off the bat. And well, I don't know if he's like, I don't know about the loan stuff, but he's like, yeah, it's better to buy it than
Yeah.
And he's like, fine, we're gonna be poor for a little bit. And he's like, don't worry, we have food. And you just see a big bag of McDonald's stuff. And then Alciel just goes into this, I don't know what you call it. It's not tirade, but like this whole thing about supersize me and how bad the McDonald's food is bad in your body and stuff.
He's like, oh, they give me meals at work. He's like, you can't eat hamburgers for 3 meals a day. What are you doing?
He goes to this whole thing, and it's the funniest shit ever because he would never watch Super Size Me. But who the fuck cares? This is a comedy, and it's hilarious. So
yeah, that's what I like. Mom Alciel the best. I love when he's being like responsible and be like, oh, God, dude, you can't. What are you doing?
It was around that time when he gave him the umbrella that I wrote down OCL's best waifu. What's Sal's body pillow again?
oh, Spike Spiegel.
Spike, yeah. I think I want an LCL body pillow just to have him close by, you know? Just another hand Calls you sire all the time.
Just for if you need someone to either to take care of you or to lick your boots.
Yeah.
So Mao gets on his bike, and what is his name? His bike, you guys?
His bike is Doulahan.
That's so funny. Why he names his bike?
Let's go, Doulahan.
Is there any reference with that?
So Doulahan is the most famous Doulahan is the headless horseman. Basically, it's a creature that exists with its head detached from its body, but they're still like linked in some way.
Listen, I've seen Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, that's what a Doulahan is. It's just that type of creature.
Gotcha.
And this is the problem I was going to talk about, though. In the dub, they really go hard in Doulahan. Like, the fucking English-speaking guys, you can hear, like, the whole syllable of Doulahan. And it's amazing. And this one, it's really hard for me to hear Doulahan coming out of Mao's mouth. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's the only thing I say the dub is doing better is the bike. Because I fucking love the bike. I think the bike is the best character in this series.
I kind of forgot, honestly, that they named it Doulahan in episode 1 because I just remember it in episode 4 where he's like, "Sire, can I borrow Doulahan?" I was like, oh yeah, the fucking bike is a name.
So he goes to work and he's waiting at a crosswalk in the rain, and a mysterious pink-haired girl shows up. Probably not important to the plot, though.
Random question. Did you guys think she was important to the plot, or you thought she was
1,000%.
Oh, okay. Did you think that she was the other person?
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
I didn't even know the hero was a girl.
Yeah, I didn't know either. That was the thing when I watched the first. I was like, oh, she does have long hair. Like, it's a really long ponytail.
Oh, I guess to be fair, but like I was probably a little skewed because I wrote down all the voice actors ahead of time.
Oh, okay. So you knew it was a female.
Yeah.
I knew that this person would come back. I didn't know it was going to be the antagonist? Question mark? Protagonist, antagonist, depending on your stances?
Well, I think the antagonist we meet at the end of episode 4.
I guess, yeah. So like a pro-ish
Co-tagonist is what I like to call them. He gives her the umbrella and is like, you could throw it away if you want when you're done with it.
Yeah.
And bikes off, which is weird because I thought Japan had like, when you went into a public place, I thought they just had umbrella bins full of like cheap umbrellas that people would take. And then when they went in somewhere, they would drop it in. And then, yeah, I don't know. I thought that's how it worked. He gets over to McDonald's.
Okay, we're in McDonald's. Mao is being a fucking fantastic employee in this fucking I worked in McDonald's, you guys.
Being awfully helpful, bro.
I worked in McDonald's. Working at McDonald's is fucking awful. And this guy is just taking it all in stride. It's crazy.
Well, he wants to be number 1 in the district for a sale of black pepper fries, because that's how he will ascend and take over Japan. Which, to be honest, I was more invested in him becoming the number 1 black pepper fry salesman than I am in the rest of the story so far. Yeah, so this woman comes up and orders food, and he's like, so it's ordering, or this woman is ordering food from another character, Chiho. So far, not doing a great job winning me over. Not a fan. And then Mao comes up and is like, oh, you could use our microwave to heat up your baby food if you want. And then that's when she falls in love with him because he's a cool, sensitive adult man. We get a shot in there of LCL.
Again, I want to say it. The devil's being awfully fucking helpful. I had that written down before, Amelia even asked me or said anything.
Yep, but I decided I would wait until that exact quote where I'm going to fucking go in on that.
We do get the flashback of what's it called? Alcio is just losing all his fucking jobs.
Oh yeah.
Mao's like, yeah, dude, maybe you should just do resource from now on.
Yeah, then we see LCL just reading a bunch of books about magic. Although it kind of bums me out that they seem like academic texts. I wish he was just like reading Wizard of Earthsea or something.
Reading like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, the D&D player's manual, that would have been great.
We get a scene with Chiho being sad the fact that she keeps dropping potatoes, and they make
with their head on the fucking table.
Yeah, and she says that like the manager keeps telling her that if she drops any more potatoes, that it's gonna eventually sprout more potatoes.
That was a pretty good joke by the manager.
Yeah, I just think this is a nice little quip about it, stuff like that. And I think the manager shows up and says like, "You guys better be on your like best mood or something like that because it's getting crazy."
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Sure.
Don't spoil anything. Just give me a yes or no. Do we get more of the manager?
yes.
Thank you. I want more of the manager so bad. I don't know why, but she clicked with me in that like 5 seconds of screen time she got. Actually, I think she had some big Masato energy, and that's probably why.
Are you talking about the fact that because she likes people watching her having sex and stuff like that?
Yeah, specifically, that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
It's weird that she just popped into a room with her employees and exclaimed that.
Did we watch The Same Devil as a Part-Timer? I did not see any pornography. I would have remembered that.
You gotta watch the extended cut. We get back to him working, and the fryer breaks.
Oh my gosh! The fact that he has to make a decision whether
The
or not
black pepper fryer breaks.
Do I use magic?
Quick straw poll. Who wanted him to use magic to fix it?
I didn't care one way or another. I like that he had to internalize that so hard. I'm on the side of just watching.
They gotta sell the black pepper fries or he can't be number one.
Yeah, exactly.
I just love that he like hasn't come to the realization that he could, I don't know, just make money. Like magically create money.
Well, he can't use all his magic power.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of magic, Anthony.
He decides not to fix the fryer with his magic and gets called in to meet with the manager. He thinks he's in trouble. I think he at one point seemed like, did she know that I was thinking about using magic?
Oh my gosh, this guy.
She comes in and is like, chill out, dude. You're getting promoted to an A-level employee.
Does that mean full time?
I don't think so, because later on, I think he says, did you know there's a system where employees can become full-time?
Oh, yeah. That's what I kind of thought, that he realized what A meant, that he was going to be full time, and then he was bragging about getting full time by taking that route. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think actually earlier in the same episode, he was bragging like, I got 100 yen raise, which is not very much money.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. A-level employee just means you get raised.
Yeah, probably. And then as he's leaving work, Amelia confronts him.
Also, hold on, before we even do that, just right before that meeting too, I really want to point this out. When he was doing his little introspective, like I might get fired because the manager wants to speak to me. That time his head was on the table and cheese was up in the air.
Oh yeah, okay, nice.
I kind of like that, the flip flop of the heads on the table. That was pretty fun. But then now he leaves work.
Yeah, and Amelia confronts him and is basically like, I know you're the devil.
No, this girl's stalking him. Oh my gosh. Unhealthy stalking.
Well, considering he's Satan and it's your job to kill him, I would say it's a pretty healthy level of
I
stalking.
think it's an appropriate amount of stalking.
She's like, I saw you from across the street. You were gonna cast magic on that fryer.
So dumb. What is this show?
And that is where that episode leaves us. Does anyone have any thoughts on the ending, which is Gekka by NaNoWriMo?
I didn't hate it. It didn't leave an impression on me like Beat Bops and Evangelion did.
Sure.
I did say that it was kind of weird that it's all fan service, it seems like, at the end.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Or it's just like a slow pan up
girl too. That
Chiho in a bikini,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's Chio.
But episode 2. The hero prioritizes work and stays at the Demon King's castle. We go back to the beginning of the series, which is the end of the Demon World fight. Amelia and one other person follow him through the portal.
We call him old guy.
Yeah, Amelia, an old guy who I don't trust, heads up. Don't trust old guy. And then we get the opening. The opening is Zero by Minami Furubayashi. Again, I thought it was fine. Nothing groundbreaking, not really anything to say about it.
I do love the very beginning of it. Well, it just shows Mao on one side and Miri on the other side, just showing the fact that there are two opposite sides.
I can't remember what scene specifically. I liked a couple of the like visual aspects of the opening. Not like too superly pumped about the music. I didn't think it was bad, but
Yeah.
there's a couple really visuals I like, but besides that, yeah.
I'm gonna say there's a couple visuals. What's it called? I love the part where they both are waking up and they both hit their fucking ankles on random stuff.
Yeah, she kicks the alarm clock and he kicks his table and then like goes fetal.
Yeah, they both go fetal, which I fucking love. I love the scene where she's just running and you just see her like jumping and you're like, oh, she's an actual warrior. Like she transforms into a warrior thing and it's like, oh yeah, she's an actual fucking warrior. Like that's really fucking cool.
Actually, I like the one where they're all like five grouped together and it shows their Isle characters and then it shows their anime Japan characters in the same like scene. But just that's one of my favorite ones.
I'm just gonna say, am I gonna skip this theme song? Yes. Is this theme song good? It is a good theme song. It's no Evangelion and definitely not Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. And but one of my favorite fucking shots is the very end, where it just shows the fucking the sword, the McDonald's hat, and the devil cloak in the background. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this encapsulates what the show is all about, which is nothing and everything.
I will say right now, we have not gotten enough McDonald's. If he's being a part-time, if the show is about him being a part-timer, he needs to go do his damn job. He's an A-level employee. I do not see that level of dedication from him. After the opening, we get straight back into the confrontation that was left in the previous episode. Amelia. All right, hold up. Before we go forwards, I want to do some consistency here. I haven't been paying attention to if people are using different names. Are we going with Mao, Alciel, and Amelia?
That's the way I like it. That's the way I always go with Mao, and I go with Alciel. I might go Al just for something for Alciel, but I'm just doing that right now.
Yeah, I am gonna say King Satan a couple times. Deal with it.
Okay.
But in terms of Alciel, I don't know what his normal name is. So
It's like Shiro, Shira.
yeah, he's definitely Alciel, and then I like Amelia.
She pulls a knife. Amelia pulls a knife on Mao, and he's like,
Goddamn.
"Oh, hey, that's from the 100 yen store, right?"
Oh my god!
and she's basically, "What? No, shut up. Who cares?"
And then he's laughing. He's like, "You're gonna kill me with the fucking knife, like a small ass knife."
Which, by the way, remember how in Evangelion we introduced Asuka to you as the archetypal tsundere. Amelia is tsundere out the ass.
I like her a lot better than Asuka.
Yeah, she does do a lot of yelling,
Yeah, she hasn't yelled that much.
and the stuff she's mad about makes sense. Right? She's
Thank
mad.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then they get pulled into the police station.
It was a lover's quarrel.
See, this I actually kind of hate.
Oh really? I love this.
Well, I
it's so
think
funny.
there's a way it's done well and it's fine, but I hate that every time people are like, "Oh, you two are together, you two are a couple," or whatever. It's Amelia that is doing the typical anime shy girl freak out who has a crush but doesn't want to admit it,
Never in a million years be caught with him.
which is 1,000% what she should be saying, but it doesn't feel like she means it. Later in the series, I could totally buy that, but now she should
Yeah.
be.
She should be angry.
Yeah, it shouldn't come off as that.
Shyness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hesitant or whatever you call it.
Yeah, because, hey, I'm going to throw out my prediction now. These two don't end up together, but they end up we're cool
Yeah,
somehow.
we're good friends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say they start fucking.
Even though Mao has killed a bunch of people. But
LCL is supervising to make sure nothing funny happens. You know he would
Oh my
be,
God.
whether it was approved or not. He's going to be there.
you know, it's so funny because Mao is the well, we can talk about this later whenever the date happens.
LCL is best mom.
Yeah.
They once they get out of the police station, Amelia basically threatens him, being like, I'll let you go now, but I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna be the one to kill you. And by the way, I got rid of your umbrella.
Yeah, I just think that's funny. Like she's just like
Didn't he how could you?
yeah,
Yeah, he's
exactly.
like, what? Why? How dare you? Why?
He's mad about the fucking umbrella. But before we get to that though, so they're all talking about and what's it called? The both are talking and they Mao's talking about how she lost soul magic too. And she's like, "Why are you riding a bicycle?" And he's like,
Why don't you have your sword?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just think that's a very interesting conversation. It's like, why are you riding that bicycle? It's like, because I don't have magic. Like, come on. Like, I thought we already discussed this, Emilia.
Part of the umbrella argument.
Yeah, and then fucking Emilia fucking tells the police, I want to destroy him.
Yeah, I think it's even her who at some point is like, by the way, my name here is Emi Yusa. Don't screw it up. And then multiple times she's just in the middle of the street going, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." It's at the top of her lungs, and he's like, "People are looking at us. What are you doing?"
Yeah, I know. It's so good.
And I like that. I think after that, how could you? He's like, it's not very heroic of you, because they talk about it's not very demonic of you and stuff like that. I like that
Yeah.
dynamic that keeps popping up, which I think is going to be a huge theme.
I hope so, but again, well,
I know exactly.
I have a
what we're gonna-
designated point where I'm going
I
to
know
talk about
exactly
that.
We're going to talk about that.
We get to see what her job is, and she's in a call center, which I know it's not established here, but Emmy, just fucking go to dinner with your friend. Go have lunch with your friend. We get to her apartment. First of all, crash that dinner. What the hell is this show? Because that is a wild show that I now want to happen in the real world. If it has not already, I just want some weird man with a giant spoon to go into people's houses and be like, what are you eating?
Have you looked into Japanese TV to see if they actually have this or not?
I have not.
You might want to see if it's a thing.
I also like it's like little moments like this that are kind of so fascinating to me when you think about it. Cause like, yeah, obviously it was like the creators who put it there and they probably just put it as a joke, but you can extrapolate it out as like, oh, wait a second. She made the conscious decision to watch this show. Amelia's like, hell yeah, crash that dinner time. Let's go.
What's funny is he's crashing the dinner of Mao and Ao too, isn't she?
Yeah. Yes. So she goes to their apartment and she shows up and it's like, quick, lock the door. And they just lock her out. And they're just having a conversation while she's banging and screaming and yelling, trying to like, let me in.
The whole conversation is like, you knew that she was here? He goes, yeah, I didn't think it was pertinent to tell you, though.
It's so good. I love the fact that Ao and Mao is or Ao Seo both are having this conversation, and then Mary just wants to get inside the door, and she's crying. She's like, let me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to let the hero that wants to kill us in.
It is kind of interesting, though. Like,
Yeah.
them, like, because they came from these, like, creatures of power that can do almost whatever they want to having so many limitations put on them so quickly.
Yes, exactly. That's what I realized after the scene as well, which I mean, it's inconsistent later when she punches a hole in a wall, but whatever.
No one is going to care about that hole in the wall. What's it called? If you break down the door, the landlady is going to be worried about it. She doesn't want to make,
Oh, yeah, maybe it's a magic door because you know something's up with that landlady.
Yeah.
And then they eventually let her in, and she immediately starts berating them for how they're living. She's like, what do you do? I'm living better than you. I live alone. What is this apartment? You have nothing in your fridge.
Is this the whole time where the devil's eating, or Mao's eating, like, cucumbers and honey?
No, this is when Marion starts stalking them is whenever that scene happens.
Yeah, she mentions that she came alone. The high priest didn't make it. Like, he was supposed to come, but he didn't.
So do we know it to be true that he actually made it?
No, we don't know.
Okay.
But she says, like, oh, yeah, someone was supposed to come with me, but he didn't make it for whatever reason. And then she starts stalking them, hearing these, like, wildly out of context conversations that they're being way over dramatic about shopping.
Whoa. You forget there's a conversation that's very, very important. I don't remember what the conversation is about, but Marion tells Mao, is like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I want to climb the ranks of McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
That's his goal, is to climb the ranks of McDonald's. And this guy is the fucking devil from the other world. And he comes to this world and is like, yeah, all I want to do is work at McDonald's.
Well, no, he wants to get money and power so he can take over the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've gotten that conversation a couple times. But he tells her, like, I just want to go become a ranking employee at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she starts to stalk them. And after the first conversation, I think they're talking about a war. It cuts to them in a line to buy discount eggs. And LCL's like, hey, let's get back in line and do it again. And I was like, you can't. That's against the rules.
I love these scenes. These scenes are so good. Where they just going on with their normal lives.
She has another conversation, and they're just at the bath. Another conversation about like a devilish experiment. And that's when they're eating the honey on cucumbers.
Yeah. Well, what's it called? The bloodbath or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, she was like, yeah, is that going to be like a bloodbath? What's going to happen?
And she's over there just sadly blowing bubbles
Yeah,
in
they're
the bath.
sulking, and she's skulking.
She's sulking.
Damn it, I said it wrong, didn't I?
Oh, she is skulking. That's not incorrect.
Okay.
She's skulking and sulking.
Skulking and sulking.
Doing the
while
old
you're
skulk and sulk.
Yeah, the old skulk and sulk.
Yeah, then they do the honey on cucumbers, which is a good conversation because like it tastes like a melon.
He's like, then it wasn't like, we'll just go buy melons if you want to eat a melon.
He's like, but melons are expensive. He's like, but you're buying both parts. It's cheaper to just buy the melon.
Yeah, because fucking LCO is extremely frugal or whatever it's called.
He's this will come up because I think Amelia like she hard shames him for it later, but he's supposedly the most resourceful general. And then another earthquake happens. And this is when I realized something's up with the earthquakes. Amelia sets up a meeting with Mao over text. Is this over text?
No, what's it called? She goes to the
Mick Ronalds or Mig Ronalds. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. She goes up there and she's telling Mao that she wants to meet with.
She's like, I want a meeting, and he's like, do you want fries with that? And then she's like, it'll be tonight at 8 a.m. And he was like, just a sandwich then.
And then she actually leaves with the sandwich, which is good. Yeah, if it wasn't clear, this is where it's like, oh yeah, okay, Chiho is definitely like super in love with Mao and is going to be all over him. And
I have a question for you guys.
yeah.
Does that happen in every anime?
Mostly not novel, yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, oh, are you like this person secretly in love with a person?
But is that person
and
always underage?
No.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, not the anime I'm watching. We get to their meeting and they have a little bit of a heart to heart. Amira's like, what are you doing? Are you just planning to like live in this world forever? And they basically kind of rehash what we already got of like, oh no, we're both going to go back. I'm going to kill you. All that stuff. And then he gets a flat tire on Doulahan.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
That was a pretty good scene where he's like, no. She's like, you can just go get it fixed for like 1,000 yen. And he's like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cheap.
And I like how like they didn't like, I think there is a blue flash, right? Before he gets the flat, right?
I think so, yeah. Because when I saw it, I was like, something definitely happened. That wasn't just a flat.
Yeah. And then they just completely ignored it until they get shot at again.
Yeah, they get shot at again. They protect each other. And then for some reason, like they basically say, let's race to the train station.
I get it just because they're both rivals. So that if they're going to protect each other, they still have to do it like in an aggressive,
I guess,
fashion. Yeah, it's just kind of weird, but then you're like, is it?
Yo,
No, it's not that weird, but
yeah,
you're probably right. But I read it as just like not even a subtle like, oh, I want to protect you, but I can't let you know I want to protect you. It's just I bet I can beat you to the place that we're running to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We're both running away, but I can run away better.
Yeah.
We learned that it was magic bullets, and then they go their separate ways. Mao gets home, and Amelia's already there.
I actually wrote around this part. I was like, I hope that this stays this interesting. Like between them two, kind of like, what is like, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, you know?
I have a theory on I feel like it's pretty concrete who the bad guy is. Probably the mass murderer.
Well, we haven't met him yet, but I was like, just their dynamic. Like, who is the anime going to portray
Pick.
as? Yeah, exactly. As like the ultimate winner, or is it going to be like a you pick kind of thing, or like what's going to happen? You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm very interested to see what happens in that regard, and I hope that they kind of keep it on the interesting like this, but I don't want them to keep using the same just stuff, which I don't think they're going to, because by episode 4 we've already gotten more of everything.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's only a 13 episode series, so there's not a lot of room for it to get tired. Amelia, begrudgingly and with great strain, asked to stay the night because she dropped her wallet, and it's a far walk back to where she lives, we learn. So LCL's like, Mao, what the hell are you doing? You're inviting your biggest enemy to sleep at your house. And he's like, she lives far away. I don't know. I do very much appreciate, honestly, like this was one of my favorite details of, they're like, don't expect a guest futon or anything. You get to sleep on the floor. Like, hell yeah, you guys are demons.
Yeah, the very demon things right there.
I'm just saying, up to this point, they haven't been very demonic.
They really have it. Well, I remember he was like, we'll give you a blanket, but if you want a hit, or if you want a pillow, you can take these magazines. I remember that line. That was pretty good.
Just more of them like being very casually jerks would be great.
Yeah.
She smells the blanket because she realizes they're using the same detergent,
Oh
which
yeah.
is weird.
I kind of like that as a world building. I don't know if it's world building, but you know, slice of life, just nice.
Yeah, I completely
It's
agree.
just nice little details. It didn't cost them, but you know, like a quick sentence.
Yeah.
And then Mao gets his phone messages about the earthquakes from Chiho. She wants to meet up to discuss the earthquakes, and he also gets a mysterious message saying, hey, there's going to be more earthquakes. They're big earthquakes coming.
And that just came from someone, right?
Yeah, we don't know who that came from.
So we forgot to talk about that. Mao actually loaned money to Emilia so she can
Gave
get
her
home.
1,000 yen.
Yes.
Which I think Alcia was like really mad about that or something like that. He's like, why are you giving home money too?
So he's questioning everything Mao's doing.
Which,
He's like, why
I mean,
are you
he
facing
should.
her in the same direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's probably like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And Mao's just like, man, I don't know.
Are we good on episode 2?
Yeah, I think that's all.
All right, and then we can move to episode 3. The Demon King goes on a date with his junior in Shinjuku.
They're very descriptive titles.
Yes. They wake up in the morning. Amelia has left them pickled vegetables.
I love this scene so much.
Yeah, they're like, oh, she left the key. She probably opened the window and then went outside and threw it back in. And LCL's like, I would have left with the key.
He's like, yeah, well, you're a demon.
So good.
That was such
yeah,
a good line. Yeah, well, you're a demon.
I do love the fact they do have a whole discussion about the fucking key. Like, oh my god, this fucking anime. I just love their talking points because they just talk. Then it's not like, I mean, it's meant for comedy reasons, but they're talking like human beings. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, that I love when they actually address like what is happening, but in a most nonchalant way.
Yeah.
We get the scene of Chiho having her schoolgirl crush on Mao. Some good animations here with her on the couch with her toothbrush, just being like obsessing over the text exchange they had the previous night.
Bro, same.
Oh, okay.
Then Amelia gets a call from the person who shot at them. And it's basically like, hey, we're going to come after you and the Demon King. We're going to kill both of you. That's the Enta Ila's collective will.
Yeah, because they made a very specific point of saying like will or thoughts in will or something like that.
Yeah. And she's having this conversation and her friend, I think, what's her name? Saki? Or Rika, I believe.
Yeah, Rika.
Occasionally she's looking over like, what the fuck? What is she talking about? And then she hangs up the call and sees Rika staring at her. She's like, takes all kinds.
Yeah.
And I guess, sure, that's a good enough explanation. We learned that the police have ID'd Mao from his bike.
With the bicycle, yeah.
And him and, holy crap, why am I blanking on his name now? We've said it 500 times.
I'll say you.
LCL are at the police station like, man, they ID'd us from the bike. Damn.
These guys are
Crazy, huh? And they call in Amelia as their guarantor because she registered herself as 20, and that's where they have the conversation. Like, yeah, I knew she messed with her age, but they keep saying they fudged her age because she fudged her age up instead of down because I thought she was actually 16, 17. Weird, whatever. And they're having this conversation, and eventually one of them goes, why do we keep saying, like, why is the expression fudge? Then Amelia, I think, slams the wall. It's like, it doesn't matter!
I love the line where he's like, it's a demon's job to be a nuisance to the hero.
Oh, yeah.
That's why she was the guarantee or whatever.
Oh, also because they're like, well, who else are we going to call? We don't know anybody else.
Oh, no, it's funny because I think, I don't know if it's Asriel or Mao, but one of them said, oh, we could have called your boss. And he's like, oh, no, she's work, like...
Yeah, we don't want to distract her or, like, distract her from her work.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's just, you'll distract me anyway. He goes, yeah, it's a demon's job to distract a hero. That's what it was.
And this is where Amelia is like, hey, you guys suck with money. It's weird. I thought LCL was the most resourceful general in your army. And he gets real sad. He's just hanging out in the background for the rest of that scene with his head hung.
Yeah.
Is a guarantor, is that basically the one that supplies bail? Or something like that? Or?
A guarantor is basically like a cosigner on a lease or a debt, basically saying, if you don't pay it back, it falls on this person.
Gotcha. And why did the cop need her? Well, I was kind of assuming because that's kind of like, I know in like the bail system, whoever supplies the bail is responsible for making sure you stay in states or whatever. So it could be something like that. I don't know.
It could have been because,
That's it.
I was just trying to make sure that I understood what a guarantee
although
was.
I don't know why they would need bail.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Amelia warns Mao about the call. And then Mao is going to get ready for his date with Chiho. And we get the most disappointingly short shopping montage I've ever seen. I was excited for when they started doing the weird outfit montage that shows do. I was like, oh yeah, hit me with this. But it was only 3.
We forgot about the conversation between that. So Mao tells Alcio that he's getting together with, what's her name? Is
Chiho.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, then we have to go to the store and get you new clothes because you dressed up like a pumpkin. And Mao's like, I don't dress up like a pumpkin. And he's like, where are we going to get the money from this? And Alcio's like, oh, I've been saving up money just in case this ever happens. Alcio being a good mom.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been saving up money just in case you ever go on a date or something like that.
Yeah. And actually, to the point on the clothes, he's like, dude, all you do is wear apparent Unislow, which I don't know what that is. I guess it's a brand.
Yeah, it's a brand.
And Mao gets like, they're the number one clothing brand in like the world or whatever. He gets real defensive about his clothing choice. But yeah, the LCL is coaching him about the date.
But yeah, LCL knows this is a date. Mao doesn't like think of this as a date. He thinks of it as like a to get together or something like that.
I think he does, because I think LCL at some point basically is like, you realize this is a date, and he's like, yeah, whatever. Like I think Mao knows, he just doesn't care.
Okay, you might be right about that.
Because the same thing happens with Chiho, and it's like, where he's basically like, oh, I mean, he says something about it being a date, and she's like, oh, you think this is a date? He's like, sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty much the next scene. She also calls out his choice of clothing. She's like, oh, I thought you only wore Unislow. Cool to see you wearing something else. They go on their date, and Amelia spots LCL doing the worst job of watching them just around the corner being sus as hell.
Did we get to the hand holding scene yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's just very interesting. So Mao said hand holds Chiho because he's like, oh, because so we don't it's a big crowd, we don't want to fall apart, and Chiho's like, oh my god, it's hand holding and stuff like that. And yeah. I think the conversation is like she wants to talk about the earthquake stuff like that, and she's like, oh, we can go to this coffee shop, it's really cheap and stuff like that, like I'll buy him. And I was like, no, I'm the guy, I'll buy or whatever it is.
He's like, oh, I'm the older guy, I should buy.
Yeah, there's just interesting tidbits about that. And then we get to that funny part about ICO's just fucking eavesdropping. And
yeah, and Amelia spots him, and then they start to analyze Chiho, which, hey, Anthony, if you want to hear about shitty tropes in anime, here's one. There's lots of conversations about, maybe it's a thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
A lot of conversations in anime about women being jealous of other women's breast sizes being larger.
I mean, she said it once, and then I haven't seen it come up again.
Well, I mean, it was like, oh, she said it, and then she went on a whole tirade about how, like, oh, but you know, they get your way, you're saving money on armor, and like,
I thought that was funny.
I did kind of enjoy the way she justified it, but it was still very much a thing of like, oh, she's jealous and playing it off like she's not. And I think I'm just over that trope. It's not like particularly bad or offensive. It's just, ugh.
Gotcha. You just as a person are done with it. You've seen it enough times. Okay.
Yeah. And it's always basically the same.
Yeah. I mean, I put down Amelia's jelly of Soho's breast.
I do like how she did analyze her entire clothing and stuff and be like, oh, she's trying to evoke like the coming of a summer breeze or something. Like, Amelia, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, she went in on that, and LCL was like, what?
Yeah. She just straight up Sherlocked it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, I should understand because you're a man.
Yes, he's like, oh, she's wearing a new haircut. Her dress is like super skimpy or something like that. Like, and she's wearing like new shoes too. So it's like she's going all out, basically.
We get to the conversation in the cafe, and we learn that, oh, Chiho somehow thought her tinnitus was hearing voices. And basically, we start to learn about the sonar links, which is absolute, dude. This is like some EVA science nonsense. And then Amelia and LCL come in, not subtle at all. Just stroll in, grilling them hard, basically take the table next to them. And LCL is sitting there with his face like, oh man, what am I doing? While she's just staring daggers. They talk a little more, and then Amelia interrupts and just starts being like, why are you talking to this guy? He sucks. He's a monster. And then they start arguing about like, oh, I saw you the other day. Who are you? Are you his ex? And then they get into all that nonsense.
Oh, no, I love the argument between Chiho and Amelia. It's so funny because they're just going at each other for like, because Chiho thinks fucking Amelia is his ex-girlfriend, and Amelia's trying to warn that this is the fucking devil, and it's like the dumbest argument ever.
Yeah. And then the big earthquake happens. It basically collapses like that entire underground mall. Amelia and Chiho get separated from everybody else. They talk a bit about Mao. Amelia just kind of is like, oh, hey, what do you see in him? They try to talk a bit about their relationship. Amelia's like, oh, I've known him for a long time, but I can't really. We can't do this. She puts Chiho to sleep and is like, "Hey Mao, you can come out. I know you're probably around here somewhere." He comes out and he is jacked as hell.
Yeah, that was kind of confusing. Did she know that he was all fucking jacked?
I don't know.
Because I mean, she kind of then why did she put her to sleep?
Well, yeah, she might have.
Because that was the only thing I was kind of confused about. I was like, if she didn't,
or maybe she realized like, hey, we're gonna have to like do some shit to get out of here.
Okay, yeah.
I do love the fact that CC says, I don't know if it's Shiho or something like that, but someone's like, oh, you think Mao is okay? And she's like, oh, well, this would definitely not kill Mao. Like,
she's
I
like,
wish
yeah,
it did.
he was like, he's okay. And she was like, yeah, I know he's okay. And then Shiho was like, yeah, you're right, he's okay.
So dumb. But yeah, goes to sleep. And then we see fucking hooves because Mao is in his demon form, which I didn't know his demon form had hooves for it, but he has it, so Mao is in his demon form, and we realize that fucking Mao, since he turned into his demon form, he decides to save everybody. And Maria's thinking about trying to kill him or not. She's like, oh, well, he's in his demon form. Like, right now is a good time for me to kill him.
I think she was like, if he gets stronger, then this would have been the time to kill him.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, or maybe she was like, maybe if he's...
Or she could have just killed him there, and maybe they thought it would have happened from the earthquake. Nothing could fall back on her or something.
I was kind of thinking one of two things. Either because he got powers, she's thinking I can get powers too. Or two, like, if he gets stronger than this, I won't be able to kill him, so now is the time.
Well, I just think it's the fact that Mao was in human form for so long, and she's like, oh, but he's not doing nothing really bad. And then we see Mao in his demon form, and she's like...
Just a reminder what he actually is.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I should kill him. But, like, I completely forgot he's a fucking demon. And then she sees that Mao is protecting everybody, and she's like, I guess he's not like his old self. I guess he is trying to protect people. And she's like, I guess I'm not going to kill him right now.
Is this where you want to jump in now? Or
yeah, here we go, boys.
Okay.
She says, why would the devil save people? That's a good fucking question, Amelia. Please don't answer, because if the answer is no, then that is going to really put me off. And I really hope the series actually addresses at some point why, like, he's the fucking Demon King. He was just literally days ago murdering people. Now he's like the world's best good boy for some reason that, like, it makes absolutely no sense.
I'm just going to tell you this, Orange. It doesn't answer it.
I said, don't tell me that. That was literally the one thing I said.
I had to, dude. I don't want you to get to the end of the anime and get like super disappointed.
Well, now I'm disappointed going through the rest.
It's fine. You're still gonna like the series. It's still good.
Well, I'm gonna skip ahead just to the next episode, and then we'll jump back, just because we're here talking about why the devil is being so nice to everyone. In the second episode, she has that breakdown, I think, in front of him, or the fourth episode.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, why'd you do it? Why'd you do all this or whatever? And then like he responded with I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, see, I think that's all we're going to get, and I think that fucking sucks.
And so I wrote that down specifically, and we can skip it when we get to it now. That is that part of the conversation. But
yeah.
Well, I just think he's finally had the human life, so he's like, oh, I might as well help all these people. I mean, he's been growing up as a demon his whole life. I mean, humans have been killing his kind his entire life, so.
But we didn't get any of that.
That's not been put into the TV series yet.
If we had got even like one episode of him being like a completely reprehensible dick before like changing, just something to establish that like something changed him, like there's a reason he's not like a demon king anymore.
But I'm just saying, you have no grounds on any side, because like at the very beginning we saw his empire topple. The only thing we've seen is him say he's the one who made the war happen. Like, he's the one that gathered all the demons together to make the war happen. We do not know his leadership styles or anything like that. We don't know we don't know anything about that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what he actually did. All we knew is he got all the demons up together and decided to attack the humans.
Sure. But if you take like context into it, for one, he was at the very least like a pretty ruthless warlord, which doesn't come through. And
what makes you say that, though?
He conquered 5 continents with like wanton murder.
Well, that makes him a warlord. It doesn't make him ruthless.
What I saw was pretty ruthless. And also, they're choosing to draw on concepts that basically exist as the manifestations of evil. If you're going to try and subvert those, fine. But just saying that, oh, actually, the devil is a good guy is a bullshit cop-out unless you do the work.
Yeah, the thing is, the reason for him going to war is not in these episodes.
Okay. I mean, I don't need a reason for him going to war. Like I said, I'm just like, I'm never going to be fully bought
I see
in.
where you're going with this, though. I do agree that it's a little weird for him to be so nice. And then when you guys were talking and I was listening to you guys and I was thinking about that saying where he's like, I don't know, I just didn't really think about it. It kind of gave me like another chance to think about that. And it could be like I would kind of respect the play of him just being like, I want to conquer the worlds. So to do that, I have to use the demons because I'm a demon. And then I'm going to, tell him to do that. And then tell, for instance, Lucifer to go conquer this area, but I'm not going to tell him how to do it. So the ruthlessness that the Demon King got could be from his generals. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's not specifically him burning the fields and murdering the people, but
yeah, we never seen Mao actually give the command to kill all these people.
Sure, but we also didn't not see it. Like, we didn't see characterization lead us to believe that he would have been any other way. Like, I would accept if they decided to go with what Anthony basically just said of, I just want to conquer shit, and however I need to do that, I'm going to do it, right?
And what if they do? What if they say that later in the series?
Then fine, great.
Okay. Well, I think that part of the conversation's dead until we finish the series.
Yeah.
Sure, but for me, it is currently a big sticking point of
sure.
Yeah, why he's so nice.
They need to do something to establish why the Demon King is not a complete asshole.
It would be nice, and I agree. And I also agree that if they cop out and just say just because, I'll be a little upset too.
There's a reason. There's a reason why.
And that way, judging by like episode 4, when they give backstory, I do expect the backstory from him. So,
all right, let's get into episode 4 then. The hero experiences human warmth. In this episode, we are introduced to Lucifer, or I'm just going to say his human name now, Hanzo Urashihara.
Are we going Lucifer or Hanzo?
I don't know. I'm probably going to go Lucifer. We'll see how the series shakes out. Voiced by Hiro Shimono, who does Connie Springer from Attack on Titan, Dabi from My Hero, Almaz from Disgaea 3, and Orphan from Final Fantasy 13. His English voice is Aaron Dismuke, who is the original Alphonse Elric, not in Brotherhood, I believe.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Peko in Ping Pong. And he is Tamaki from My Hero as well. We open with our Amelia flashback, showing her and her dad having their farm life.
Best husbando, one of the best.
What, the father we get for like half a second?
I love the fucking dad, dude. He's great.
But what if you find out he clubs baby seals?
The guy was able to have sex with a fucking angel, dude. This guy.
Okay, you got me there.
Fucks.
You got me there.
Yeah.
So we learn Amelia is a child of that dude and an angel, and only she can save the world because she can wield a better half, which is the sword only a half angel, half human can wield. We get back to normal day. Or present day.
Wait, Amelia does say that, this is not her last time seeing her dad.
Yeah, and that fucking music, like, I got some major Last of Us vibes during that music that was going on. Oh, it was because it was just a hint of bluegrass sad, and then father-daughter stuff, and I was like, oh, no.
God, the best husbando, and he already is dead. So sad. No, wait, do we already get the village in this scene, too?
It happens right after she goes away, because it's like a few days later.
Oh, yeah, the village, yeah.
Yeah, dude, come on, church. What the fuck are you doing? Like, you think the church let the dad die just because to raise up Amelia's training or something like that?
If we want to break that scene down, I think the church came because they knew where the army was, and then they had to take her before she died. So, like, they were just a few days ahead, and that's why they showed up. And of course,
probably.
as like the 8-year-old girl would not know where the army is.
Oh, you might be right about that.
Yeah, because you're not going to want to fight a full army yet with your hero not properly trained, so you just sack the village.
Why couldn't they just bring the dad too?
Why didn't they just bring the dad?
So we get back to present day. Can I finally go back to present day?
Sure.
Yeah.
I love the animation on the village when the fire came
No one gives a shit about the village. The dad is dead. It's not sad. No one cares.
All right, I got some questions, and I'd like to introduce this part.
Okay.
So we get back to present day.
Oh, actually, one more thing about the village.
I think Amelia's like, "Oh, look at you, back to your sloppy self," and he's like, "Sloppy,"
Yeah.
and then I think the police show up, right?
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, we recognize you. You're the inspector's daughter, and that's Chio, right?"
Chiho, yes.
Okay, so her dad's a cop, basically.
Her dad is the cop that he hypnotized at the beginning.
Okay, that was kind of my question.
And they kind of say later, I think, that like, oh, maybe that's why she's getting the stuff, because I used the magic on her dad. I know that doesn't make any sense, but they kind of say that.
Sure, magic.
Yeah.
No, but I do like the fact that we just gonna let you go, Shio, because we don't want your dad cop to see Mao. Like, you guys together.
Yeah, so they dipped. They got a convenient dip.
Yeah.
And then, is it Rika sees?
Yeah, Rika sees Amelia.
And then, was there some, like, weird foreshadowing there?
Explain. Oh, before you say that, before Mao does leave, he goes like, "Huh, you have a friend. Weird."
Yeah.
Mao is actually talking to Mary about the attack, though, realizing the attack is for them.
Yeah.
Like, he's smart enough to understand.
Oh, yeah, they did discuss that. Yeah, you're right. That's probably a pretty big point, is that they're kind of getting on the same page.
And Mao is like, yeah, they're going to attack again because they know they failed on the attack.
Yeah, because she was like, we're both together. They're going to swing at us again.
Oh, so I forgot to talk about this in the last episode, but why do you guys think that Mao was able to transform into his demon form? Do you guys have any inkling or anything like that?
Something to do with the earthquake.
Yeah.
You think it's earthquake too?
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like because the earthquake. When the earthquakes happen, whatever is the magical ley line to Earth amplifies or opens and allows magic users to draw on it more easily and powerfully. So in that moment, he reflexively goes into big mode to not get crushed by the earthquake and is able to do it because that is the greatest point of magical potency.
Okay, so that's your theory. Anthony?
He said similar to what my theory would be, unless they just haven't given us the tools yet to determine what actually is the magic coming from. Then the only thing I could think of is earthquake-ish stuff.
Okay. I was just asking you guys to see if you guys had any theories behind that.
Are we gonna get an answer?
Yeah, you guys are.
Okay. Yeah, so Rika and Amelia go back to Rika's house. We get a little bit about Rika, how she was from Kobe.
Do you guys talk about the thing where Ashio and Mao is talking to each other too?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I remember Alciel getting down on a knee and being like, "Sorry."
Exactly.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I wasn't there to help and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, this isn't my LCL. I want the LCL that's like, bro, buy fucking food. So yeah, we're in the apartment. Rika gets a call from, I think, her mom, and she switches to her country dialect, which is always fun when that happens in anime. Not sarcastic. I enjoy characters that are like blatantly from Osaka or something, because that's for your reference, Anthony. The way she was talking, if this were an American show, she would be like from the South.
Hell yeah,
Like, or she'd be from the sticks, you know?
bro. Same.
Yeah, and we learned she's from Kobe, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't talk like that because people always ask me a bunch of questions, because when I was little, there was a real bad earthquake in Kobe." And then Amelia gets kind of introspective, like, "Oh, shit, bad stuff in your childhood you don't want to talk about, huh?"
Like, bro, same.
Yeah, and then Rika hugs her and is like, "Everyone always asks me about Kobe. Thanks for not being an insensitive piece of shit." And I forget the exact context here, but at some point in here, Rika says something along the lines of, people can turn either angel or demon. Or people can turn into either an angel or people can turn into a demon.
Wait, Rika? Oh, yeah, Rika says something like that.
And that causes Amelia to kind of think about that. I think in the bath, she thinks more about it. Like, oh, people can go either way, huh? Or like people can change that drastically, which... Hey, guess what? I wonder what's going to happen in this series. Rika is watching the news while Amelia is taking a bath, and we again hear about muggings. This is like, I think, the third time in the past 2 episodes they've talked about muggings.
I wonder who's mugging people.
I think we'll find out at the end of the episode.
Probably Lucifer. Yeah.
Fucking demon is going around mugging people.
Amelia's in the bath and's like, what's this warmth? Is this the feeling of a human heart? Which, honestly, with no context of how their world works, makes no fucking sense. Like, what? First of all, you're half human. What the hell are you talking about?
And didn't something fly into the...
An angelic feather falls into the bath and disappears.
And then she gets warm.
Yeah, okay. I have it in the opposite order, but I might have just written it that way. So I don't know. We cut over to their apartment, Mao and
She's
LCL.
looking angry in front of the door hole.
Yeah.
Well, aren't they walking back?
No, they're in the apartment.
So during the whole apartment scene, they were also doing the side thing where with the actor little bit.
Yeah, your dream's not over unless you give a tear in his eye. Poor guy.
Yeah.
I want the cop to be an actor. That's what I want from this series now.
Just a side, like a whole side thing.
Yeah, just have him
start
be
seeing
in the background every
For
scene.
some reason, they just go to like some improv thing, and he's up there practicing, and then like later, like 2 episodes later, you see him on like a movie poster.
Yeah.
3 episodes later, TV in the background is him being interviewed for his last movie.
Please, I would love that. If you're listening in the year 2013 and working on this show still, please introduce that plotline. But yeah, Amelia's at the apartment. The door is locked, and she puts through the envelope. They bicker a little bit before Mao eventually takes it, and I think LCL again is like, "What are you accepting envelopes for your enemy? What are you doing? You know, it could be dangerous." And she's like, "Don't worry, it's not poison or razor blades."
Yeah, and I was like, I can't think of anything you give me that's not killing or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think she basically says like, "Oh yeah, I'm paying you back," and then he snatches it.
Yeah.
And LCL is just like freaking out. He needs to calm down.
I think Alcio took another psychology hit. I don't know what it was about, but he took another hit with his ego.
It was his failure to protect Mao.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Mao even brought that specifically up. He goes, "Yeah, I think he used the exact words where he's like, I think his psychology took a hit and that cave in."
Yeah. Then Amelia starts to leave, falls down the stairs because she apparently can't wear heels, but is anyway.
And I did think it was weird that he knew that was going to happen.
I like how Mao comes out like, don't walk like that. Like, be careful. Oh, and see, he fell down.
Those shoes have no grip, even though you've walked down and up the steps about 4 times prior to this.
Yeah. And then they're starting to like patch her up, disinfect her wounds and stuff. And she's like, "Why is a demon being so nice to me?" And he's like, "I don't know. Why is a hero falling down the fucking stairs?"
She's really not okay with him being nice.
And so they'll, out of bandages and gauze.
Yeah, LCL go to the pharmacy, pick up some gauze.
You guys are forgetting one important line. LCL asks Mao, is like, "Can I borrow Doulahan?"
Oh,
yeah.
Doulahan makes a return, you guys.
Then we get her long...
Yeah, she gets her speech that basically boils down to, "Hey, you killed a bunch of people. You killed my dad. What the fuck?" And now you're like pretending to be a nice guy working at McDonald's and patching up your sworn enemy.
Which basically is the same questions we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary's like, "Why you not acting like a demon?" And he's like, and the way you walk into your way into high school girls' hearts. I think it's funny.
Which right on cue, Chiho shows up and they have more of that shit.
But yeah, I was upset with that one. Is that like were they in some, like, she was just being cut and he was like 3 feet away from her, and then Chiho was like, "What? I don't get it."
Yeah, I didn't really get it either.
Is that a Japanese versus American thing?
I mean, I guess the way I would kind of explain it away is that she suspects there's something going on with them. Because actually, if you think back to episode 3, like, they talk and she actually says, like, "I'll pretend to be okay with your explanation of your relationship with him."
Which was a pretty good line as well.
So she knows something is up, and then she walks in there, and Amelia's on the floor basically crying. So she knows there's more to their relationship, and she walks in on a pretty intense scene. I could definitely see her connecting the dots of like something. Well, shit.
They used to fuck.
Yeah, I could definitely see her thinking that because she knows that she's being lied to.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where my issue is with that one. I don't agree. They specifically said that, because I know she was like, "I'll pretend to understand," but also in that same section of things or whatever, she also verbally agreed to like, you guys have history. You weren't like ex. She said that you guys have history. She knows that there's history there, but it's not in a romantic way.
So they say.
And then that's when she kind of says, I'll pretend to understand what's going on.
Right. But I mean, what else is she supposed to think? I mean, look, I'm kind of with you that I think it's kind of weak.
It's very weak. And then they were standing like apart from each other and she's hurt and has tears. Like, what? And then she's like, what? You guys are blowing each other? That doesn't make sense to me.
Or, I mean, I guess like they're purporting to be, at least from Amelia's perspective, they're purporting to be enemies. And now she walks in on like him taking care of her. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty weak.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Oh, before we get past the scene, so I want to talk about the fucking Mao and Maria's scene a little bit more.
Go for it, homie.
I put down some lines. So Maria asked him, why did you do all the things to like into LA or whatever it's called?
Into Isles.
Oh yeah, the Isles. Yeah.
Into Isles.
Yeah.
And then fucking Mao's like, oh, I just didn't understand humans. He's a demon. Like, I don't understand where you guys are coming from or whatever it is. Which is, I think, is a really good point because he is a demon. So it's like, he doesn't understand what he's doing is affecting humans. You know what I'm saying?
I get that point. I think it would be easier to come to it if they would have given us a little bit more of him just being like even an occasional line once per episode of him being like, it's weird being a human now, you know?
Well, it's weird because we do a bunch of stuff to animals too. Like, we humans do a bunch of stuff to animals and we don't really care about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but we don't have full-blown wars with the animals. No one is sitting here worried about a bear uprising.
Yeah, but we enslave cows and stuff like that and just...
It's a different
kill them and eat them.
dynamic, though.
What we do to cows is a lot more worse than what he did to humans. I'm pretty sure he's not enslaving them and make them for his slaughter.
Okay, but it's still a different dynamic. It's not like a struggle for power with
And I want to be clear. Cows produce milk, and when they die, you can have meat. Humans can do a lot more shit than that.
They could destroy the world. They can have wars against each other.
That's my point. He knows he's wiping out and conquering a species that is potentially as sapient and intelligent as he is.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what you guys mean. Is this I think from Mao's point of view, it's like, why should I care about these humans? You guys think?
And that's fine if he hadn't shown, if his whole characterization up to this point hasn't been, look how I'm the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, well, on this episode of How to Fix Your Anime, I think that if they would have just like maybe literally once per, or I guess episode 2 and 3, and maybe once before this in 4, if they had time to just throw in like a being human segment, you know, like where you can kind of see him very slowly just being like, wow, I didn't think humans did this. Like, you know, becoming more introspective in the human side of things. I think this scene would have played so much better.
Or give us a little bit of him being the Demon King, but still being the same guy.
Just being more dickish.
Or even not necessarily, but just like have him being there. Like Monkey said, mate, like they definitely could play it off of him being like, oh, I said, go conquer this shit. And then Lucifer came back, was like, I conquered it. And he's like, cool. But have him still just be like the spoiled, the naive rich kid or whatever.
Yeah, and I was like, honestly, to be fair, they have only called him the Demon King, and we've only seen him fight the heroes. Because you keep saying like, go do more of the Demon King shit. Well, all the Demon King shit has been is just fighting the heroes.
Well, I mean, we do see him like we see the demons running around slaughtering, just
the
like
demons.
Innocent. Yeah, sure. But again,
that's kind of where I'm at.
Again, but you're literally calling him Satan. You have to be aware of the baggage that comes with that.
Yeah.
But Satan is a common term in their world.
Okay, but first of all, they haven't said it, and second, that is like a fucking hand wavy nonsense explanation.
Oh, okay.
The context is still the same though, right? Satan is a devil.
Yes, and they refer to him as the Demon King several times, which comes with its own connotations.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But that's because he was the Demon King. He was the leader of all.
Right, and that comes with connotations that isn't everybody's best friend.
I got nothing else to add.
Yeah, I have nothing else.
All right, then we are back to old lady shows up. The landlady.
Okay, landlady, who the fuck is you, and why are you telling our people all this thoughts and well shit? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, actually, I think right before, like, she showed up, and I wrote something's up with this lady before she jumped into her exposition. There's another earthquake. she talks about how thought and will have great power. And we cut over to the little girl and the big guy flying through a gate.
Well, what's it called? So Kitty, Mickey Kitty, tells tells them that what's it called? Mao needs to go to Chiho right now. Like, and I think she's like what's it called? And she talks about and she's like, oh, you have to take care of like one of your mass amounts of girlfriends. Like she says that to Mao. She's like, oh, like you have to worry about all your girlfriends or something like that. And then she talks about how you can't just leave her alone. Like the fucking ID link is on her. Like you have to go and save her and stuff like that.
Yeah, she just spits that shit off.
Yeah, she just says that like right off the bat, and then we get the scene with what's his name shows up. But it's like, oh wow, she knows everything, and we get no explanation about it. She just knows everything, and fucking Mao has to run away now.
Yeah, and something I kind of assume from this scene is that Chiho's emotional and mental state is somehow affecting the earthquakes, whatever that happens to be.
I didn't get that, but shit.
It's because of the will and thoughts have great power, and like you need to go like make sure that Chiho is cool. Like and she's the one who was touched by magic. So
I think I was just so appended by I mean, you might be wrong or right, but don't say anything, Sal.
Yeah, let us have our theories.
they already explained it about the earthquakes.
What?
Yeah, the first when it comes up, they explained the earthquakes.
Did they?
Yeah. So whenever they do the ID link, it hits the person and causes like a wave, which is why her earthquakes are where she lives at.
Right. But I mean, my theory is that, like I said, somehow Chiho's emotional and mental state has an effect on the power of whatever is happening there. Or maybe, I don't fucking know, man.
Right, so Chiho is walking the streets of Japan. She's just walking, and then this guy's like, something, I've been watching you. She's like, what? And then some dude tries to touch him and gets flown. And then I think we cut to another scene and then cut back, and homeboy's got wings.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna feed on despair.
Oh, does he announce that too in that scene where he's like, I'm gonna destroy both Emilia and King Satan or whatever?
Yeah.
And he says that to Chiho, right? Or does he say that?
I think he's just saying it because he's an evil guy and that's what they do. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it was pointed at Chiho. But yeah, he grows wings. He blows shit up.
God, I love angel wings. It's such a cool thing. And that's the end of episode 4.
Yeah. Closing thoughts, predictions, obviously not for Monkey.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, what do you guys think of the anime so far? Because this is literally like around 1/3 of the season. And what do you guys think of the very beginning of like how this anime opens and stuff like that? Like, what do you guys
I think I like the reason you picked this anime.
This is
that it is fun. It is like, I feel like we've deep dived into like a few topics, and that I feel like that's appropriate for my level of like, I mean, it's not, we're trying to segment our arcs as much as possible, but Evangelion just took a lot out of me emotionally. and I'm so happy that I can just watch like I have little notes because I'm just having a fun time. I'm laughing, I'm watching, and they're still keeping it interesting. I'm happy.
I am the most avid anime watcher between this group, but I think I'm like the dumbest person out of this group. Like, I don't go into deep dives and all this stuff, and I just like fun anime. So this is one of my animes that I like. That's fun. So glad you're enjoying it, Anthony.
I think it's okay so far. Like I said, I am a big fan of half of LCL's character. I like when Mao is being a dick. I think I like the first episode the best out of this whole grouping. Other than like the heavy exposition dump, but I think the humor worked for me the most in the first episode, with a few bits here and there. But yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm not like begrudging having to watch it again next week.
Okay, I was just wondering. That's all.
I also want to
favorite characters. Oh, go on.
Yeah, this is our also. I think I don't know if there's a specific term for it in anime, but this is our first anime that isn't, or that is like a story. You know, it's not like a sitcom-y or episodic. I don't know, Evangelion felt like more Monster of the Week, less story.
This is definitely the most serialized.
Yes, thank you. Serialized. This is our first, well, not first, but yeah, this is
the most.
I like the series. Yeah, you get like 4 story episodes spread out over 26.
What was it? Episodic? Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah. And Evangelion, we won't touch that.
I don't even know the story of that one.
Yeah, we watched it, and I still am confused. But, but yeah,
I'm going to put a moratorium on talking about Evangelion.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm enjoying what we've done so far in terms of how we picked, or how the accidental picking of the animes, how they're working out. Because I don't think people planned.
You did pick this one out, so.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like I like how it's just kind of unfolded. It's a nice break between different types of
Agreed.
how TV shows can be worked.
So what's your guys' favorite characters for Stored?
The manager.
Oh, really?
There
Okay,
we
I thought
go.
you was gonna say SEO.
I mean, realistically, it's LCL, but the manager, followed by Rika.
You, Anthony?
I'm gonna say Mao for now until they ruin him.
Everybody knows who's my favorite character.
Yep. So no need to say it. Moving on.
It's Doulahan. So, just saying, what do you guys think of the premise?
I think it's a fun premise. Like I said, I do wish that they had done more with him being a demon king instead of, because he just feels like a guy who was taken out of his life. Like he could be any random idiot from that world.
Yeah, I think it's gonna me enjoying Mao the rest of the series will all be depending on his backstory episode. Depends on what they do with that, and honestly, in terms of like any type of prediction on what's gonna happen or where the magic's coming from or whatever, I've got nothing.
You got nothing?
Yeah, I don't have much. I think the mom, well, based on what Monkey said, probably not. But normally I would think Amelia's mom will play into it in some way based on the angel feather dropping into the bath. They're obviously going to team up and kill Lucifer. They're going to become tentative romantic partners. LCL. Rika's going to get way into LCL. There's my hot take.
Wow.
Rika is going to develop a crush on LCL, and it's going to be weird.
And as of right now, I still don't trust Rika. That's my hot take.
Okay, great.
I don't think there's anything else for me to ask. I mean, this is our first comedy anime, like, officially. And this one is classified as a comedy fantasy anime. So.
I did when our first episode came through, and y'all explaining to me what Isekai, right?
Isekai.
Yeah, Isekai.
Isekai.
And you're wrong saying it. It's a reverse Isekai.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. When you told me to pick between those three things, and then the devil gets transported, and I was like, what? At first, I was expecting someone to come in to, like, you know, the hero got transported, and then off the rip, they were like, the hero's fighting the devil, and I was like, what is happening? How are they going to turn this into an isekai or whatever it's called?
Yeah, an Isekai, yeah.
So next week we will be doing episodes 5 through 9, and then the following week we'll be doing the final 4. Yeah, other than that, I guess next time on My First Anime, what will it take for Anthony to trust Rika?
Listen, I just need to make sure that she's a good person. I need to see her donate to charities. I'd like to see her go to church a couple times. And I'll also, let me get her grades from K through 12.
How much of the series will Sal spoil after I explicitly ask him not to?
So this person dies.
The fuck?
And will Chris get funding for an American version of Crash That Dinner?
So look, guys, here's my Indiegogo. We're up to $5. It is all mine. I sold my car. Please help. Next time on My First Anime. Thanks again for listening to My First Anime. If you enjoy the show, tell your friends and leave a review. It really helps. I'm Chris Bailey, and you can find me on Twitter at Chris R. Bailey or hear me play Pretend on the actualplay.network podcast. And finally, thanks to Slink for the use of 12 Speed as our intro and Winnie the Moog for the use of Speed Energy as our outro.
You can come to my stream, ST Monkey at Twitch, where the O is a 0 in Monkey, so make sure you guys remember that. I play single-player games and multiplayer games, well, sometimes multiplayer games, Tuesdays and Fridays afternoons. You can also follow my Twitter at ST Monkey, also O is a 0, and my Instagram. My Instagram is mostly containing dog photos of my dog. He's a poodle. And Shih Tzu.
You can reach out and contact us on Twitter at MyFirstAnime or email at myfirstanimepodcast@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined, my personal Twitter and Instagram are both Sir Paperplate, where you will find only pictures of my cat. And once again, thanks for listening to
My First Anime.